Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This session is for those who really want to understand what makes an empty ASP.NET Core web application to MVC application. Okay, so let's go ahead without wasting time. So as you can see, the first green tick marks or the first 8 bullets shows that we have already covered in our previous sessions. Okay, and the one which is highlighted in yellow underline, it says empty application to MVC, that we are going to discuss today in this session. And because earlier I was using the pure concept which really required to make an application to entity framework ASP.NET Core application, and we have discussed all those concepts like code first approach with existing DB, with brand new DB, and designing the entities with the help of data annotation or using DB context. Okay, so for the current session our focus will be on convert an ASP.NET empty application to MVC application, and then after that in the next session we will discuss dependency injection and what are the available services in entity framework core. Okay, so let's go ahead without wasting time. So as you can see, the left hand side one, it is a structure that I was using so far in the ASP.NET Core tutorial series, and there we were using a one simple book model and one DB context and the program file and startup file, and we have explained so many concepts with only these few files. But now as we are moving ahead and we want to discuss more concept, so I want to align those changes to ASP.NET Core MVC application with entity framework. Okay, so the final structure will be look like this. Let's switch to Visual Studio without wasting time. This is my Visual Studio solution, where you can see on the right hand side I have created folders because earlier we had only two main files. One is book.cs, which is our model, and the one which is startup.cs. Okay, so according to the convention, first we will create the model folder that I have already created, and it is pretty much very straightforward. Just right click on the application and we will go to add and add new folder. Okay, then we will give it a name model. Okay, and under that we will just drag that file to in this model folder, and we will update the namespace accordingly. Okay, this is also important change one. And number two change will be, we will create a data access folder, and in that file we will put our book context in this class. If I click over it, as you can see, earlier we were using the connection string and book db set, and we were configuring the changes, passing the connection string, and we were overriding the on model creating method of db context class for designing our entities. Okay, but now we are already using the data annotation for designing our entities. As you can see, table attribute is there, and max length required and max length is already we are using. So the old way is not required. So we have created models, we have created data access folder. Our next step will be creating the controller one. Okay, so simple, straightforward. Just right click on it, add new folder, and we will give it a name controller. Okay, and under that, on right click on it, we will again click on add and just click on controller, and we will select this one, MVC controller with views using entity framework. Okay, so what we will get in this, if I click over here, click on add. Okay, so from the model classes, what is our model, which is books. Okay, so we will select the book one. Okay, and from the DB context side, it is our book context that I've already shown you. Okay, and we can leave all these three checkboxes as default checked. Okay, and because as of now we don't have any layout page, and in the controller name we will specify the book controller and click on add. Okay, now check out the controller. So we can see our books controller folder is created. Okay, as I made few changes because in future I want to use the repository pattern in this application, so I have created these one. These are now quick reds, but we can solve them later. Okay, so the important part is we will use the constructor injection. So for clarification on this, you can watch the video of repository pattern. Okay, and rest are the common very simple implementation of these tasks like index one and the detail one and the create one. Okay, because we have selected the book controller with the entity framework with all the operations. So you can note down here the view folder is also get created with that. Okay, so these steps are very simple, that's why I'm not going into much detail. So in the books we can see we have a create, CSHTML, we have delete, we have detail, and we have edit, and we have index. So these are the default implementation. I haven't made any changes in them. Okay, so these are the changes, and the most important one now what we are going to do, because let me show you the startup file, because earlier we were using the methods specified in the same file like startup.cs. Okay, and the add book asynchronous, so which was doing the new entry in the database, either it is existing one or the new one, and this method was using for ensuring we have database created. If it is not created, we're gonna create them, and if it is already exist, it's going to show the status on the screen. That's what we are writing on the response. Okay, but now we will not use it in this way because we want to align our application to more with the real-time application. So let me quickly made some changes in startup.cs file. Okay, and most important two methods in this one is the configuration services, where we specify all the dependencies in service collection, which is iService collection container, and the second one is the configure our request processing pipeline, and all the middleware is specified in this. Okay, so let me quickly add those changes. Now what changes I have made: one, I have added the services.add_MVC here, and now we are using the options.enable endpoint routing is false. Okay, I will explain you why I am using this one. Okay, and another one I want to use the DB context, which is specified in the iService collection container. So we will specify the book context one here, and from here the standard way of connecting to the database, we will specify using the option lambda expression here, and we will use the SQL server, and we will specify the connection string name, which will be DB context. Okay, so these two are the primary changes. And on the second one, earlier we were not using this one, use MVC with default route, because if I will remove this change, let me okay, and save the changes, so you will see and there is quickly green information is available, and you can read down what actually it is saying. Using MVC default route to configure MVC is not supported while using endpoint routing, because it by default using endpoint routing, and to continue we should use MVC with the default route. Please set MVC options.enable endpoint routing false inside configure services. Okay, so this is a hint which is already given by the .NET Core framework. Okay, so we specified here, now error is gone, and we don't need this one because this piece of line, like using practical session, it is used to write on the response just to see how things are going on. So let me comment these two. We don't want to use this in this way using run method or endpoint one. We don't need these two middleware. The important one we have already added, which is use MVC with default route. If I hover over, so you can see by default it is using the controller home action index and the ID and question mark, which says the ID is optional. Okay, so it will work in that way, and by default it will look for home controller and the index method, but we don't have home controller, so I will tell you how it's gonna work. And after that, we don't need of these methods. All the work done by these two methods, we will move them into a specific controller one, okay, that we have already created. So let me comment this one as well, and comment this one as well. Okay, we don't need this. Okay, so don't worry about this piece of code. I will share the GitHub link so you can get the latest code from there. Now our startup class changes completed, and we have already, and there is no changes in the book model. Startup changes completed. Now come to our model, and okay, it is done. And then from the data access one, yes, here we need to change because we are already calling the this DB context from our startup class. Now we don't need to passing the connection string from here because we have already provided the information there. And now we are using the data annotation to design the entities, what attribute or table should have. So we don't need this one on model creating, so we will comment this one as well, and we don't need this private variable as well. Okay, so what we actually need is the book one, and we need a constructor. So let me quickly make changes here. Now I have created one constructor. In that we are passing the DB context options, and in that we are calling the base class, and we are passing the options to the base class as well. And this is the same class which will be called by startup one. Okay, and here we are also passing the connection string. That's why we remove the reference of connection string. But now you must be thinking we are also passing the connection string name that we haven't created. We are going to add the connection string in our app settings.json. So we will just add here. So just one comma after allowed host and connection string, we are giving the name book context. Okay, which is exactly similar to the one that we have supplied here. Okay, so now you can see all the required changes we have already made. Okay, now if I will try to build this application, we will get the error. Let me show you. If I am building this one, it will say iBook repository that I want to create for the dependency injection session, so I will create later. So right now let me comment this one. Okay, and let me remove the reference of this book repository for the time being from here. Okay, let me comment this one as well, and Control Shift B. Let me make a few more changes so the application looks clean. So in the index one, which is going to by default, so I've applied a simple style of border 1 pixel solid blue and margin auto. Okay, and this margin is for center align. If I want to apply the same properties to the h1 tag or the paragraph tag, so in that case we should use the text align property center to make it center align. Okay, and one more important thing, when we added the books controller, so at that time required NuGet packages, required views are already added. Let's build the changes. Okay, Control Shift B, build successful, and let me run this application, how it looks like as of now on the browser. We haven't set the default content that we need to see on the browser, so for that we need to go to the URL. Okay, so that ideal will be the books and the index one, because our roots was controller action method. So books is our controller and index is our action method. Okay, and we are not passing any parameter for the ID, so that's why we are able to see this index system. So here you can see border is blue and content is center align, but one problem we can see here, the links are not properly highlighted or working. These are just plain text. Okay, and if I inspect the element, so you will see so these are actually a anchor element, but these are not working like a link. So I will share the solution, what is the actual problem in it. Let me close the solution. Now the problem is actually the tag helper view. We have to add one more file in our views, like view import. We will right click on the views. Okay, add new item. Okay, now it's going to pop up the section, and here we will type import. Okay, so we can see, so we need to select this one, reserve view import. Okay, and the name is already highlighted here, so we will click on add. Now we can see our view imports file is successfully added in the views. We can have it folder specific as well. What I mean is, you can create a specific for the books controller one, for the books views. I mean what you want to import for the books one, and if suppose if we have employee one, if we have any other one, so in that case you can have the according to hierarchy as well. So what is required here, we will provide the reference of tag helper. Okay, and provide the asterisk, this is the syntax, and we will import the microsoft.aspnetcore.mvc.taghelper, and we will take advantage of this. We can add the namespaces as well, so that we don't need to provide fully qualified name in our views. What I mean is, let's say we have this is our index.cs HTML, but here we are specifying the fully qualified name, which is ASP.NET Core ASP.model. So we can remove this prior namespace, okay, and add that into this view imports file, and this will be common. It will work for all. So let me save the changes and quickly build our application. Okay, build successful. Let me run the application once again. So our application is loading. We need to go to the right URL to see the changes. Okay, here we go. Now we can see links are showing properly, and we have solved our problem. If I click on edit, okay, we can change, and we have a back button. If I go ahead, okay, we can see, let's see if I remove these changes and just save it, so it is working properly, and we can go back. So let me close this. So now we are able to identify. And just one more important point about view import. So in this view import file, we can add or remove the references as well of tag helper, either it is related to model, or we want to inherit something for the specific controller views, or we want to inject something. So for all these purposes, we use view imports in AF Core ASP.NET Core application. Okay, so let me remove it. It is just for you. Okay, and save the changes. Let me quickly show you one more important concept. As you can see, as of now, when we are running the application, it is not showing the default controller one, and that we can set. Okay, so instead of using the default route, we need to use the use MVC, and we need to specify our own controller that we want to use on action and the method one that you want to use. Okay, so let me add here the changes. So you can see now we are using the use MVC, using the routes. In that we say we are giving the name default, and for controller we are calling books, for action we are calling index, and our ID is optional. Okay, so we can comment this one. Okay, and we are not calling any other middleware, because this is the important one for us. So let me quickly build our changes. Okay, so it is building my changes, built successfully. Let me run the application once again. So now we can see, now we are not moving from here to any URL, because we have selected the default one what we want to call. Okay, so now you can see everything is on the one go from the front page, and we can make the changes again and save it. So this simple application and the CRUD operation is working perfectly fine. So let me close this and go back to our session details. So now, before moving to the session back, so I have just given a name, so we can recall. So on the number 1, we added the model folder. Number 2, data access. Number 3, controller. Number 4, views auto created with the help of entity framework. Okay, and number 5, we have performed the changes on startup file. And number 6, we made the connection string in app settings.json file, and we have added view import razor component to import the required tag helper changes. Okay, so let's go back to the session. Now you can see now our simple empty ASP.NET Core application is converted to ASP.NET Core MVC application with entity framework template. Okay, so the changes are pretty simple, but there are a few challenges that I have also solved while we are converting this application. Okay, I hope you like this video. If you have any question, any comment, facing any problem, you can write into the comment box. I will try to reply as well as soon as possible. Your feedback is the only inspiration for me to create such videos. If you like this piece of hard work, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and circle, and whom you think that can be very helpful. So I will see you in the next session, where we will discuss dependency injection in EF Core in detail. Bye bye.